Welcome back to Play Testy. This is episode 34. You might think it's the David Ortiz Big Papi episode, but it's actually the El Guapo episode. Rich Garces. This is the official podcast of Dog Safe Snow Melting Salt. If you use that, you're the real MVP. My dog's feet are a mess right now because the city of Boston's not using it. So if you use the Dog Safe Snow Melting Salt, I appreciate you. Also known as the official Red Sox podcast of WEI. I've got Sammy and Pat with me here. We got Coop in the back. We're doing some fan engagement today. We got some voicemails. We got some texts. We got a lot of stuff from you guys, and we appreciate that. But before we get going, remember, rate us 5 stars where you're listening. Hit that follow or subscribe button. Odyssey app, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We're getting the YouTube going. Like, we're all over the place. So just hit that subscribe button anywhere and everywhere. Even if you only listen on one, hit that subscribe button everywhere. Get that notification like 10 times. It's great. I've tried it. It's awesome. Big right. We got some awesome content for you guys today. Sammy, Pat, how you guys doing?
We had to do that intro like 3 times for all the listeners out there. I'm like in the background trying not to laugh my head off. What was it? Dog Safe Snow Melting Salt?
Yes. It's the salt. You know how like they'll put the salt on the streets to melt the snow? They make a brand of that's because if you use the normal salt and you walk your dog on it, the dog's feet get like all chapped, like really chapped lips, but imagine it's on the bottoms of your feet.
Oh yeah.
That. So like there's like a version of it that's safe for dogs, but like the city won't pay for that. So I'm trying to figure out a way to walk my dog without ripping up his feet. We just bought him like this. Like, I think they call it dog balm. It's basically like it's like chapstick for your dog's feet. It's coming tomorrow. We're gonna try it.
The city of Boston is like, having dog safe snow salt is expensive. Sorry, everyone. Not gonna happen.
We'd rather sell you the city of Boston experience of ripping up your dog's feet.
Salt experience.
It's a thing.
Oh God.
Well, we reached out on Twitter. We asked you guys to give us a call, send some voicemails. We had people send voicemails. We asked for texts. People sent us texts. We had a few people go in the comments. It was we were really appreciative to hear from you guys. I want to bring in Coop. I think the first one should be one of those texts, and Coop has got a hold of all these things. So maybe we could get Coop in here to read off the first text.
I got you guys. I got you. So the first text we got, do you guys have an opinion on my theory, and it is madness induced by this offseason? That was in parentheses, folks. That all of this is just John Henry mandating that the Red Sox no longer deal with Scott Boras. It explains why the Red Sox aren't in on all these guys. Explains why the market is so low. It diminishes Boras's power in the game, perhaps leading to a deadline in the offseason, and maybe even a salary cap.
No. I don't think that's what's happening. Do we have a name for this person so we can shout them out?
No name.
All right. Friendly stranger. No, I don't think that's happening. That is like if you own a restaurant and you're like, all right, I want to have a 5-star restaurant, but no steak at this restaurant. It's just, you're missing out on the best item. So I don't think that would happen, but I totally understand the off-season madness. I think we're all going through it.
Yeah, I don't think he's boycotting Boras. I'm sure he leans one way or the other in terms of whether or not he likes to talk business with Scott Boras. But it's something a little Mike Tyson there. I heard that little list.
About to say Mike Tyson.
But I don't know. I don't think he is trying to send like a giant message by not being involved in Montgomery or Snell or those guys. I think it's just more. We'll get into. I think there's another question addressing spending, but no, I don't think it's like some subliminal message kind of thing. I think it's just a lack of desire to spend money this year.
Yeah, I think you're giving the ownership too much credit if you try to let them off the hook with that. This is a ownership group and a front office. I know Heim's not here, but the rest of the front office is still here, and they just paid Yoshida top of the market value last year, top of his market at least. So no, I think they're willing to deal with Boras. I think we're all just frustrated and trying to think of little cop excuses to try to give ourselves a reason why they might not be going after Jordan Montgomery or any of these guys. No, I think they'll they'll deal with Boras if they think they can get a good price. I actually did see something. I forget who it came from online. It could have been that executive burner. Shout out the executive burner if this is from him. If not, I'm sorry I shouted him out. But he said something along the lines of, over the years, teams have learned how to deal with Boras, and like they realize that when you're dealing with Boras, most of the time you're gambling, or not gambling, you're bidding against yourself. And so teams have realized that you just wait him out because you don't want to bid against yourself. You don't want to keep up in your bid, and eventually the market will fall into your lap. We saw it happen with a Boras client, JD Martinez, years ago. They played the waiting game on that all offseason, and it worked. I'm not saying that's what they're doing here. I'd be surprised if that's what they're doing here. I personally just think they don't want to spend. We'll be pleasantly surprised if they do.
Do you think that's you know how John Heyman is well known to have Scott Boras's hand deep
firmly up his rectum? Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Pretty much what I was going for. You think that his posturing with like, I think the Red Sox still have a move up their sleeve. You think that's a Boras thing? Because that's a theory that I could get behind.
Yeah, I said in the group chat yesterday, I am so out on John Heyman reporting anything regarding the Red Sox because, like you said, Scott Boras, I'm not going to call John Heyman a puppet.
You just did.
But John Heyman sure does say a lot of things that Scott Boras wants him to say while his hand's up his ass.
Yeah. Confirmed.
So I think the Red Sox, teams around the league know that historically speaking, they're a big market team. They will spend money at some point. I firmly believe that there will be a point in time where they spend again. And I think John Heyman just kind of like dangling that in front of teams, especially in terms of like Montgomery and Snell. They're like, Boston might spend. I think it's just a ploy to drum up interest and money, and I don't think the Red Sox are in on literally anybody right now.
Yeah, I think is kind of mean, but John Heyman sounds like his voice sounds like he's transitioning through puberty eternally. Like he's always kind of like this, cracking all the time.
That dude, he's gassed. He's always gassed, dude. He is that man.
Yeah, it's like he's almost gone through puberty, but he's still like in the transitional phase where he's still cracking his voice a bit.
Sammy, can you give me a homie, like a Marge Simpson?
Homie.
That was
You
pretty.
You sounded like one of the sisters, Patty or Hilma. That's who you sounded like.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever done that voice. I'm pretty decent with these like imitation things, but like
you're very good with the imitations.
Yeah, no, that does sound more like the sisters. Anyway,
sorry.
Next question.
Okay. I'll go with the next question. It'll be one of the Twitter comments. This is from our boy Justin. He wanted to know what our best interpretation of what Tom Werner means by the Fenway experience is. And then he's got a part two. Wants to know which prospect we are most high on. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a member of the big three. So let's start with the first one. Let's start with the Werner Fenway experience thing. What are your guys' interpretations when Tom Werner says that?
I mean, fuck you. This is my the Fenway experience. We've all, I'll speak for myself. I've been to Fenway probably like 300 times. It's lovely, but like I consider myself a hardcore fan. We do this podcast 3 times a week. I like the Fenway experience, but I'm far past that point. That said, there is a huge market for, casual fans or people coming in from out of town. We sometimes lose sight of the fact that Fenway is a legitimate landmark in the world, not just the US, in the world. So I get what he's saying, but yeah, fuck you, Tom.
Yeah, I interpret that as, like Sammy said, a fuck you to the fans who actually care. Because the Fenway experience is nothing special to those of us who have been at Fenway hundreds of times. That remark just means like, oh, like we're playing to our audience of people who haven't been here before or don't give a shit. And like, how you're not going to sell out games with tourists every 81 games. It's not going to happen. Sure, you'll get a couple hundred more people in the stands in the summertime, especially when it's nice out and whatever. But no, it's incredibly disrespectful to the fans who actually care about the team and go to a bunch of games that you're now selling the Fenway experience. We've experienced it all of our lives. We're used to it. We want to experience a good baseball team. That'd be sick, in my opinion.
Yeah. And when I see, sorry, go ahead, Gordo.
No, I was just gonna agree with you, Pat. Like the Fenway Experience thing, it's very much not directed. Like if you're listening to this show, the Fenway Experience thing is not directed at you. It's directed towards people who want to take their families to a game and buy them hot dogs and just enjoy a summer day at the ballpark, and like the outcome doesn't matter. But you know what? We get to go and we'll hear Sweet Caroline in the 8th inning, and we'll stand up for the 7th inning stretch, and we'll take pictures of the kids with Wally. Like. And then it's also the college kids. We'll sell them cheap tickets so they go to the ballpark and use their parents' credit cards to buy 6 beers a pop and get hundreds of dollars out of their pocket that way. Like the Fenway Experience, Tom Werner says it isn't wins and losses. It's not your position in the standings. It's just going to the ballpark and having a jolly old time regardless of the outcome. That's the experience they're selling. But
Yeah,
you go,
I can't
what do you
do
got?
that, though. I can't do that when the Red Sox are like 9 games out. And this happened to me last year a few times. I'm like going with like friends and family and stuff, and I'm trying to be in a good mood because we're at Fenway and it's at a baseball game and everything. And I'm just so pissed. I'm just watching them lose 5-0 to friggin' Baltimore or Toronto or something, and they're falling more and more out of the playoff race. And our percentage is down to 0.3 now, and everyone's like, "Yeah, sweet Caroline," and I'm just miserable. So I love the Fenway experience, but it has to be more than just that. So,
oh yeah, for us, for the 4 of us, and if you're listening to this show, no, the Fenway experience they're selling is not for you. They're not selling tickets with you in mind.
Yeah. As far as the prospect question,
oh true, I forgot about.
I'll stay away from the big 3 just because I feel like we all know who those 3 are. I'm going to go with Miguel Bleis. That's a guy I'm super, super high on. He probably after Kyle Teal is my most quote unquote untouchable, even though I don't like that word. And I say that because he's so young. He's coming off of a lost season. He's not even close to realizing his potential in terms of how good he is at baseball, as well as how valuable he is in a trade. He hits for power. He's fast. He has a good arm. He plays center field, athletic as hell. He's 19 years old, 6 feet tall. You have to assume he's going to grow a little bit more because he's still so young. I'm super high on Miguel Bleis. Also, cool name, Blaze. So, Blaze in with Miguel. I'm all aboard that train. I hope he has a huge bounce back year. He gives me, and this is a huge reach.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
Who do you think I'm going to say?
You're going to say Ronald Acuna.
No. Close.
Okay.
Louis Robert?
No.
Okay.
Wow, you're both wrong. Julio Rodriguez. I was going to say same batting stance.
Okay.
They're both athletic. Julio's a bit bigger, and I think, but like I said, Blaze might grow. But yeah, if you look at their batting stances and swings side by side, super similar. So can you imagine getting a Julio Rodriguez type?
Do you remember last year for the international signing period, the Sox were like lined up with this agreement with this guy who like the one comp they gave was J-Rod, was Julio Rodriguez. And then the deal falls apart and he goes to the Royals. We have to keep an eye on that guy. I forget his name. I'll have to figure that out. They lost a guy to the Royals who they comped to J-Rod. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, people speak out about comps. Like I've seen a new trend, people saying like, I don't like to do the minor league comps. I think they're fun.
Come on. Just do it.
Mind wander. And it's not like people say like, you're putting pressure on the minor leaguers. Look, if you can't handle the pressure of some moron like me comparing you to a different player, it's going to be very tough to play in the major league. So, that's my guy, Miguel Bleis. Very long-winded answer.
They sat those guys up on stage. They sat 4 of their top prospects on stage and had them answer questions in front of a crowd of people that was streamed to Red Sox fans all across the country. Like, screw them. Like, they can handle a comp. Okay, yeah. Pat, who do you got? Who's your guy?
Staying away from the big 3. I'm a really big Henry Owens guy. I like Yoelin Cespedes. He was an international signee last year. I believe Sox Prospects has him already top 10 in the system. 5'9" shortstop, really good bat to ball skills. International guys always interest me. I feel like they're so hit or miss, but the ones that hit really hit.
Mhm.
I'm excited to see what he does in a full year of minor league ball. That's my guy, Yoelin Cespedes.
So I'm not going to stay away from the big three here. He said you could. He didn't say you had to, so I'm not gonna. The Red Sox drafted Marcelo Meyer with the 4th overall pick in the draft a couple years ago, and pretty much since then have said without saying it that this guy is going to be the savior of this organization. And every move that they have made since then has been basically pushing this guy as that savior. And yeah, Rowan Anthony had a way better year last year. And to be honest with you, he may end up being a better player. He's been higher on some of these prospect lists. I know he was higher on Kylie McDaniels. He was not higher on Pipeline. He was not higher on Baseball America, if I'm not mistaken, but was higher on Baseball Prospectus. Got that. But yeah, I'm going to pick Marcelo Meyer here. Like, it's pretty tough as a prospect to have a year like he did last year, where he basically, like, if you just look at it on the surface, he got promoted to Double-A and then struggled. He struggled because he got hurt. He hurt himself sliding into a base and tried to play through it, and it just didn't work. And then he was shut down for the season, never got a chance to play after that. This is a big year for the kid. He's going to, in all likelihood, start the season in Double-A. He's fully healthy, so we believe. Like, we'll see. We'll see in spring training how he looks and things he does, and if they use him like he's fully healthy. But we'll see him start the season likely in Double-A, and I'm excited to see what we've got there, because if all things go right for him, for Anthony, for Teal, they have big years. Don't rule out seeing them by the end of the season. I wouldn't count on it, but I certainly wouldn't rule it out.
Who's your comp?
Coop.
Comp.
Honus Wagner. Coop.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
Honus.
Coop, you got a voicemail for us? I want the VM.
Yeah, what's up, boys? It's Murph from Whitman here, home of the chocolate chip cookie. See, I know you 4 boys, you're all relatively smart. Sometimes, Pat needs a little boost, but, you're all smart guys. So I know that you guys know we should be abolishing the DH for the sake of pitchers hitting. You got Shohei Ohtani, Zach Greinke's a great batter, Wes Ferrell in the 40s, Babe Ruth before that. There's a long lineage of pitchers absolutely raking. Rick Porcello. So I was hoping maybe you guys could explain to the rest of the audience why the DH should be abolished and why pitchers should be allowed to hit. Because pitchers are athletes. They are. If you watch them golf, they are athletes. Yeah, I'll hang up and listen.
They are the best golfers.
Do you want me to address this one first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So this is me and Coop's friend Murph. I've known Murph since I was 4. We played high school baseball together.
Is he a DH?
You would think so. We pitched together. Murph was very, very good pitcher. Begged the coach to get at bats. Was denied every single time because he couldn't hit. And since then, he has died on the hill that pitchers are athletes and we should abolish the DH. So that's where that comes from. The pitchers are athletes. I will die on that hill. They are athletes. They field the position well. You guys, Greg Maddux, I think, won 14 Gold Gloves? Something like that. They shouldn't hit. They shouldn't be allowed to hit. They're athletes. They should win Gold Gloves. They should not hit.
No. Hey, how do you? I assume Murph is a Red Sox fan. Yes.
Yeah.
How do you watch the Red Sox with David Ortiz for 4 billion years, cranking home run after home run after home run, clutch hit, boom, 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 and say, yeah, let's get rid of this? Fuck that, man. JD Martinez too comes in, boom, World Series, DH. No way. I hate that. I do.
David played first base in the World Series now.
Oh, true. Positional versatility. I forgot.
Come on
about
now.
that. Can you imagine if he played third? But anyway, yeah, no, I don't like that. I think that pitchers should have the option to hit, and like you have the DH is optional, which is kind of how it goes now with the Shohei rules. But no, don't abolish the DH. I like seeing yoked, out of shape dudes launch 500-foot bombs. That's fun. I want like Jorge Soler. Imagine the Red Sox sign him, and he's hitting 450-foot bombs onto the Mass Pike. I'm not sad that we're not seeing, our boy Chris Murphy hitting. I want to keep him healthy. So yeah, I think
Chris
the
Murphy
DH
can hit though. Chris
could.
Murphy will tell you he can hit.
He could, but I'd rather him healthy to pitch. So let's keep the DHs hitting and the pitches pitching.
I've got a take. I feel like I'm the only one with this take because most people agree with you guys that they shouldn't hit. And then there's a subset of people that think the pitcher should hit. I liked it the way that it was. Give us the DHs and the NL. Like, we can have our pitchers hitting up there. Like, our Bartolo Colognes can go swing and their helmets can come off, and we can watch the Red Sox go to Nat Park and Rick Porcello get 3-run doubles, and the World Series will go to Colorado and Dice K will drive in runs. Like, I don't want to watch it every day. It's not a good product to watch every day, but I'm not watching NL teams every day. I'm watching my AL team every day. So yes, let the Red Sox have DHs, and we can watch the highlights in the morning of all the NL pitchers striking out and hitting like pop-ups to, I don't know, whatever the hell they did over there. Like, that was enjoyable. I liked the pitchers being in the NL.
That's such an AL fan take, because then like you get to the World Series and the Red Sox, they're playing the Cardinals, and the Red Sox DH has 45 home runs. The Cardinals DH is a guy who comes off the bench most of the time. It's so unfair, but hey, I mean, I'm down. It benefits the Red Sox, so let's do it. Let's go back.
In retrospect, how that's so weird that they just had the two leagues playing by essentially like different rules. That's
Completely
so wild.
different rules.
You know what's even weirder than that? And I feel like when we're like 50 years old and we'll all have beautiful children by then, we'll be like, do you know that the All-Star game used to determine home field advantage in the World
They should bring
Series?
that back.
Hold on. I got a question for you guys. We're speaking about the duality of the American League and NL League. Do you think it was more fun when you never really saw NL teams?
Yes.
Like,
No, I like this. I like seeing them.
I don't know. I like getting to like the All-Star game and being like, oh, well, now I get to see, Tanner Houck get a dinghy hit off of him by Shohei Ohtani. Tanner Houck's making the All-Star game.
Tanner Houck's on the All-Star team now. Let's go, Coop.
Coop, it was cool when, like, with the old schedule, when there would be interleague games, but I get how for like most fans, they'd rather see their team play all the other teams.
I mean, like, that is the benefit now where, I mean, it sucks seeing Dodger Stadium or Fenway Park get filled with Dodger fans, but it kind of made it special, like when like the Dodgers would visit every like 5 to 8 years.
Yeah, that was the best though. Like the novelty of interleague play week, like that was awesome.
Like when you see weird matchups, like I saw the weirdest one. It was the
like
Dodgers, Dodgers at Rays. I remember
how
that
pumped you'd get whenever you saw like the Pirates get put on the Red Sox schedule.
Oh my god,
that's a slate of wins right there.
Oh shit! And then they tried to do those quote unquote natural rivalries where it's like Red Sox got to play the Braves every year because the Braves 100 years ago were in Boston. Thrilling. Everyone's dead who was alive during that period, but we'll bring it back. Great job, baseball.
All right, Coop, you got a text for us. Bring yourself back. I want you to read a text for us.
Hold on. God damn it.
Pat, why don't you sing?
All right, here we go. No name again. People, put your names on these things. Be proud of your questions. Hi, I just read in the San Diego newspaper that the Padres Fan Fest is scheduled for March 24th. Very topical to Boston. Admission to Fan Fest is free. I just paid $95 to attend Red Sox winter weekend. Thoughts?
Wait, when is it?
Padres is March 24th.
It looks
Well, that's
like
why
they're having.
There's going to be no players there.
No, isn't that like right before opening day? Isn't March like that might be like right after the last spring training game?
Yeah,
like,
I was going to say, and they're also like Arizona League is not that far from San Diego. That's not going to be that much of a travel difficulty.
Yeah, but the players aren't gonna. It's not going to be like Red Sox where you got the players like having beers with the fans and shit. I mean, I'm sure it's cool. It looked cool last year.
They open up from what I know, they open up the stadium and the players do like Q&As from like the dugout in front of everyone. I'm not sure if they do anything else as far as like mingling, but I saw like pictures of Xander with people last year.
That's what I was gonna say. Is it's free because it's at What?
Sorry, we're reacting to Joel Embiid tearing his meniscus. Wow, that's big news. Celtics
Oh,
that's a
in
biggie.
3.
Sorry, that threw me off. Well, that's why it's free. They're at Petco Park. Like, they don't need to really. I mean, they need to have a head count, but at the same time, like that whole area is just kind of free reign. So you can't really charge on the area around Petco, where the Sox and other teams have it is at like remote destinations. Like, yeah, you have to pay so they have a head count and like all that good stuff. I mean, like, it makes sense. Should it be free or cheaper than $95? Yeah. But that's why San Diego's is free. It's just that whole area surrounding Petco. You can't gatekeep the entire surrounding vicinity of Petco Park.
Can I say something? It's the same thing as it is with the tickets. It's supply and demand. If they can get a bunch of people to pay $100 to come to their fan fest, they will do that. They have every right to do that. You're paying for it, so they're going to do it.
Dodgers, I just did the research. Dodgers also at Dodger Stadium. Tickets are $10. They're sold out, but they do have VIP experience tickets available still. That's
Ooh,
February 3rd.
We'd have to know the details of like what goes on at these things to really compare. But Gordo, you made a good point. I think people don't realize that San Diego is a tiny, tiny market. You're right next to like Arizona and LA. So you're kind of like squished in there. They don't have a big fan base. So if they put a high price on it, like the Red Sox do, they might get kind of a not so good showing from the fans. So
Bro, if they could charge for it, if they could make money off it, they would. If they thought they could make money,
they probably have like a VIP kind of experience thing as well. But yeah, I mean, that would never happen in Boston. This is like a rabid market. Of course, people are going to pay to go. We all did. So yeah, no, I like this question. Very thoughtful.
All right, I'm going to read off the another comment one. This is from Cal. This one says, pretty fed up right now as a lifelong fan, but still, I can't and never will quit on the Sox. With the last few years being incredibly frustrating and little to no hope from FSG, what would it ultimately take for you to turn in your fandom, if ever? Which team would you support? I could take this one first because this is a weirdly an easy one for me. First of all, there's nothing that could ever happen. Like, I get it that they're like pissing us off royally right now, and like this whole offseason sucks, and like the FSG experience the past, honestly, several years at this point sucks. I can't imagine anything that would make me turn in my Red Sox fandom. It could never happen. Like, literally on any planet. Like, it's literally a part of who I am as a person. It's my personality. This has been who I have been since I developed a personality as a kid. At 4 years old, I became a Red Sox fan, and I've never gone back on that. I've never like had like a season where I didn't watch that many games. Like, this is just who I am as a person. That said, I do have an answer for which team I would support if I couldn't support the Red Sox. If they abolished the Red Sox, if the team just disappeared, I'd be a Washington Nationals fan. All right? My name is Nat Gordon. They are the Nats. They at their ballpark, they sell Nats dogs. And I went to school in DC too, so like I got to go to a bunch of their games. Like, I know the area well, like all that stuff. But like, it's literally my team, my dogs. What about you guys? What do you got?
Yeah, I like. Can you repeat the question? I want to make sure I answer it like exactly as it was asked.
Okay, it's basically asking, what would it take for you to turn in your Red Sox fandom, if ever, and what team would you support if you did?
I literally can't. I don't think I can convince my brain to not care. Like, I've been a psychotic fan, like same as Gordo, forever. I would have to get like some traumatic brain thing that erases my memory, and then I would have to find a new team that I vibe with my new brain. But to answer the second part of the question, I guess the Mariners, girlfriend's from Seattle, so
that's the right answer for you.
It's my boring answer, but yeah, I would probably be a Mariners guy, which is
it's the right answer. That's also that's like a fun, or I mean, I get that like their fans are they don't like what they do all the time, but they're a fun team. The Mariners are always fun in my mind.
Right now, dude, you go to Seattle, you complain about the Red Sox out there. They're like, oh, you want to know about pain? Let us tell you what pain is. Here. But yeah, no, that's my answer. I can't make my brain not care about the Red Sox. and Fenway and everything. And I think that's because I don't look at them as like John Henry, Tom Warner, Sam Kennedy. To me, the Red Sox are an entity, and those are the guys who currently own it. They're not going to own it forever. It'll move on to someone else. But like the Red Sox as an entity will always be there, as long as I'm alive, at least. So
doesn't it also, like in the off season, we focus so much on the John Henry, Tom Warner, Sam Kennedy, Craig Breslow, like that's the Red Sox. But in the regular season, that's not the Red Sox. Like you look at the guys in uniform, and those guys, you see them in your home so many times. It honestly feels like they're like buddy old pals of yours, because they're literally just sitting in the living room playing a game every day. But what do you got, Pat, on this?
Yeah,
anything?
Anything? I'm with Gordo. I think the franchise would literally have to absolve and like just cease to exist for me to really not be a fan. That being said, I have two different answers. If the Red Sox just sucked so bad, I would still be a fan. I would probably pay, and I pay like a ton of attention to like the entire league. I would really make it a point to watch good baseball games. Like I would tune into like the Dodgers Braves. I would tune into the Astros Rangers. Like I would tune into better games, but I would still be a diehard Sox fan. If the Red Sox were completely absolved, I think I would hitch my wagon to the Chicago Cubs. I don't know why. I have a soft spot for Chicago Cubs.
I kind of like that answer. That's kind of the one organization that feels the most similar to the Red Sox.
Exactly. I think that's what it is.
Have you guys been to Wrigley?
No.
Yeah. Last year I went for the first time. It's awesome.
So I went. Yeah, I went. It is awesome. It's not Fenway.
No, it's not. But you feel like
the area around Wrigley. Did you guys? Oh, did you go to Sluggers?
Yes, with the bat.
So for anyone listening, if you've never been to Wrigley/Sluggers, Sluggers is a bar in Wrigleyville, which is like a little village, kind of like what the Red Sox are working on right now, Fenway Corners. And it's basically a bar with a batting cage. And that kind of says it all. It's an unbelievable, has to be a big liability, but it's a great idea nonetheless. So if you're ever in Chicago, go to a Cubs game and go to Sluggers. It is an awesome time. And you realize how hard hitting is when you have like just a beer. It just gets so much harder. So yeah, big shout out to Sluggers. And I like Wrigley. It was really nice. I can't put it over Fenway, but I'm not a good person to ask. Biased.
All right. Coop has a tweet. Coop, you want to bring up that tweet?
Yeah, so I just wanted your reaction based on this. I just saw this on the timeline. I'm not sure if you guys caught this. For those listening, Jared Krabs just posted a picture from Costco. I'm not sure if you've seen teams like the Tampa Bay Rays have done this. I think I've seen the Yankees, I believe, did this last year as well. But yeah, you can now buy Red Sox pack tickets at Costco.
That's so bad,
thoughts?
man. That's so cringe. That's cringy as hell. Ugh.
So my dad worked at Costco for, I don't even know, like 20 years.
Oh my God. How am I just learning this?
Just to reference this, there was a point in time, this just goes to show how broke the Red Sox are acting right now. The only team who used to do that was the San Diego Padres, and that was after they traded Adrian Gonzalez. Like the star of that team was Andrew Kashner, and they were selling tickets at Costco. This is broke boy shit.
It is, but like I have such a love for Costco. Costco's the best. Yes, the Red Sox should not have to sell tickets at Costco. That's ridiculous. They should.
You know what?
They used to sell out every game, and now they're selling tickets at Costco.
Do you think they would still like a serious question? Do you think they would be doing this if they signed Montgomery and Soler? Let's just use them because they're the two guys remaining.
Yes.
Those aren't exactly like sexy names to casual fans.
I think if you spend the way that you promised, season ticket holders how you were going to spend, then yeah, I don't think this happens. I like we were getting emails almost every day throughout January if you had bought a ticket at one point from MLB.com that was coming from the Red Sox begging people like ourselves to buy tickets. So I think if you actually go out and you spend before it gets too late, it doesn't get to this point. I think if you sign Montgomery like beginning of January, you don't see this.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you're right or wrong, but no debate from me. It's the vibe.
I think you'd see it. I think you'd see it just because I like you said, Sammy, I don't think any of the guys, maybe if they got Ohtani, you wouldn't see it. Like all these other guys, like, yeah, to us, they're huge names, but like to so many people that are in the market for these tickets that they're trying to sell to, it's just another guy.
Oh, yeah. We talked about that with Sean McAdam. Like what would happen had they signed Ohtani? Oh, my God. It's like a seismic shift. So I agree with you there. Yeah, it's sad. And it really reflects where we're at as like a fan base and a team. Like the interest is just waning every day.
Coop, you got another voicemail for us?
What's up, fellas? How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing well. I know Red Sox ownership isn't, but that's okay. This is Tommy. I think you might know me a little bit from Twitter. I've interacted with you guys. What are we doing? Like, what are the Red Sox actually doing? Like, you just think back, like, trade deadline. You could have traded Turner. You chose not to, and that's fine. But you held on to him, and now you showed no interest in wanting to sign him, and now he's with Toronto, and you kind of have no signs of pitching coming in. And what are you doing with the DH? Are you signing Soler? Are you doing this DH by committee? Like, what are you doing with the outfield? Are you going to make Yoshida a permanent DH, or are you just going to try out O'Neill, Durand, and Abreu in the outfield? I'm kind of just at a loss for words, and I don't really know what they're going to do and where this is going, and would kind of love to see, your thoughts on the recent situation, at least, because I think we all are pretty crystal clear on the fact that pitching is not coming, and if so, it's going to be extremely minor. Hope you fellas have a great rest of your week, and go Red Sox.
Yeah, so shout out Tommy B, TJ Bennett 37 on that's TJ Bennett with 3 T's 37 on Twitter. Fan of the show. Appreciate you, Tommy. My answer, I'm sticking with my Montgomery kind of tinfoil hat delusional fan theory. I think they're going to sign Montgomery. I think they're going to wait him out till like 2 weeks from now, maybe. It's going to take a long time. And I think he's going to fall into the Red Sox lap. I don't think ownership should get that much credit for it because it's like I said last week, it's like a broken clock being right twice a day. So yeah, that's what I think the plan, if you even want to call it a plan, that's the direction I think they're headed. I think they're going to have Montgomery fall into their laps. As for the DH, I think they're either going to sign Duvall, which is super lame, or they're just going to go with the guys they have and maybe have like a rotation or something with like O'Neill in left, Duran in center, Abreu in right, Yoshida DH most of the time, but sometimes O'Neill gets a day off his feet because he's got injury concerns. I don't really know who the backup center fielder would be, Ref Snyder, but I guess. But yeah, that's what I think they're doing, and that's with a confidence percentage of like 2, all things considered. So there you go.
I think what they end up doing, so there's adding on the margins, and then there's, I don't even know what it's called, but even less than adding on the margins is what I think they'll end up doing. I will die on the hill that this offseason that there will be 2 more moves. Adam Duvall will be re-signed, and Jacob Junis will be the other starter we sign.
Damn, Pat, you've died on 2 hills today.
I know.
You're dead as hell.
Corpse
mode.
Yeah. I don't think they're done making moves. I just don't like. I wish I could be on that same train and as you, Sammy, and still be hoping for Jordan Montgomery and Jorge Soler. I know Bob Nightingale recently said that he thinks the Red Sox are going to sign Soler in a predictions article. So, like, obviously you can hold out hope there if you want it. What do I think they'll do? I think they do end up making a trade for a pitcher. I don't think it's going to be a pitcher that's as good as the guy we would like to see them trade for. Like, y'all wanted to see the trade for like a Jesus Luzardo, and I don't think it's going to be that. Like, maybe they swing a trade for an Edward Cabrera. maybe the Yankees get that one done. I've seen some Yankees stuff with the Marlins, and I hope that doesn't happen. But
I don't even think I've
there's
thought
a few guys.
Like
Say that.
I don't
Say what,
think
Sammy?
Luzardo hasn't crossed my mind in like a month at this point.
Same.
I was so high on that idea. Like they can do it. They can trade for Luzardo. I agree with you. It's probably going to be like your boy. I love how much you love Edward Cabrera, by the way, Gordo. If the Red Sox get him, he's forever going to be tied to you. That's going to be like your guy.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think if Edward comes to Boston, it'll be a budding bromance. It'll be a full-on bromance by the end of year one. The budding bromance develop. That's what we'll get out of it. But I don't even know if it'll be him, man.
You got to also, if you trade for Edward Cabrera, you got to get Harold Ramirez. So we get Harold and Edward, and we're the scariest team in the league.
That'll be it. That'll be the DH and pitcher move. Okay, fine. You've got my official prediction. Edward and Harold. That will be your move. Is Tommy Bennett?
Tommy Bennett kid. Well, he's not he's North or South Carolina. I forget which one, but he has a really Boston name, which is funny.
Tommy Bennett.
Tommy Bennett, dude. I remember him. He's also from Whitman.
All right, Coop, do we got a text up? Coop will bring in this.
Yep.
Here we go.
So this is going to be a bit of a visual one. Let me bring this in real quick. We got our good friend Wally. Not to oh no.
Oh,
Coop just.
So we got some good pictures of Wally here. Question for the pod: does Wally have eyebrows? We got a plush toy here. Not really sure what's going on with the hairline there, or if it's eyebrows, kind of covering both. Here, I would say that's hair. That looks like bushy eyebrows. That looks like eyebrows where it's the Wally mascot in person. So it really is.
I think you got to defer. You got to defer to the actual mascot, right?
Yes,
because that's actual Wally. So I'd go. Can you?
Yeah, I have a very firm answer on this.
Okay,
I have a very good analogy. I'll go last.
My firm answer is that it's eyebrows and not hair, because I want you to think and I get that he's not a human, he's a green monster, but I want you to think if you've ever seen someone balding, not all the way bald, but they're balding and the hair that they have left on their head is in the front. That has never happened in the history of balding people. It is always in the back and the sides. If you're hanging on for dear life with your hair, it's the back and the sides and the top and the front goes. With Wally, if that orange fuzz is hair, then he's balding, or he's bald in the back, side, and top, but he has hair in the front. No chance. It's eyebrows.
Sammy?
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna stick with my original answer. I'm deferring to the actual mascot itself, which to me looks like eyebrows. So I'll say yes, he's a eyebrowed man monster guy.
I think the orange is his head of hair. However, I do think he has eyebrows. I think it's kind of like Pablo Sandoval's muscles, where they're just hiding under a bunch of shit. I think he does have eyebrows. You just can't see them all that well. But I'm going to go yes. I concur. Wally does have eyebrows.
Yeah, I mean, there's different ways to depict Wally, as we've seen in the message. Thank you for including the photos with that. But yeah, I think you have to abide by the original guy. That is Wally himself. So yeah, eyebrows. I've never thought of this before. This is so weird. This is why I like when we get the questions. That's a good one. I'm kind of freaked out thinking about Wally's eyebrows, though, to be honest. All
right, I think we got time for one more voicemail. I think we should play one more voicemail.
Let's go.
And then we'll have enough said after that. This will be fun. We'll hear one more, and then we can save all the extras for the next time we do this, or we can ask for new ones. But let's get Coop in here to play this.
It's coming. We promise. Tension is building.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is G-Mag, or BonerJams03 on Twitter. If you know where that's from, that's awesome. Anyway, Okay, so I'm kind of concerned about Alex Cora. I know Craig Breslow. Well, he didn't really. I don't know if he said this directly, but I know there's talk that he wants to see how he manages the team in the upcoming season. But personally, I really don't know why you would have to see that. I mean, I get it. Like, I don't know, 3 out of 4 last place finishes, you can blame Heim or whatever the fuck if you want. Or you can place blame on whoever. But I don't know. I just don't think Alex Cora needs to have his, what's the word? I don't think he needs to be observed in another season. I feel like he's good enough to warrant an extension. Because you see how he performs with a good team. And, you know, that's not all on one person that's not all on one person to put that team together. You know, it's a whole shift, you know, like it's not just one person doing the thing. Anyway, yeah. So you can see what Alex does with the team, with a good team anyway. Leads you to a World Series, obviously, first year. 2021, good team. Leads you to the ALCS. And I don't know. I think he has a really good relationship with the players, and
Okay, that one was long, so we had to cut it. But I think we get the gist of it. My response would be I'm not really looking at it as if is Cora worthy or not. I think we all agree he's a good manager. Yes, the 4 of us here, we agree. I think it's a matter of like, does he want to be here? Because I'm pretty sure the Dodgers are going to have a managerial opening likely after this year. And I could not fathom, as much as I love the Red Sox, choosing this mess of an ownership and this middling roster over the friggin' Dodgers. It's like the Monstars. So, yeah, I think it's whether or not Cora wants to be here, not whether the Red Sox want him, because he's a good manager. And if he leaves, especially after like the Craig Counsell contract where he cashed in, Cora's going to make a lot of money. And we know how the Red Sox are with money. They don't like to spend it on baseball. They love to spend it on golf, but not baseball. And unfortunately, Alex Cora is a baseball manager, not a golf manager. So, yeah, I think he's gone after this year. They're probably going to finish in last place if things don't change again. So 3 last place finishes in a row, 4 out of 5 years. Why would you want to be here? I wouldn't. So that's my answer.
You know, Sammy, I think I agree. If he were a caddy, they would be paying him $50 million by now, maybe 60 for a caddy.
Yeah.
And if he could drive like Happy Gilmore to like 500 yards, yeah, he'd be extended by now. No, but in all seriousness, I got a little bit more optimistic about the Cora stuff after listening to Ken Rosenthal on the Fenway Rundown with Chris Cotillo, because Cotillo has been pretty skeptical about the prospects of Cora returning, with the theory being if they're in last place, good shot Breslow wants to go with his own guy. Maybe he doesn't want a manager who's finished in last place 3 times in a row. And if they're really good, then Cora just took this team that didn't spend any money with low vibes, and he took them to the postseason. That's a guy who could get a huge sum of cash in free agency. So, like, in theory, both directions could signal an exit for Cora. But Rosenthal talked a little bit about the loyalty that Alex Cora certainly does still feel towards this ownership group, who gave him another chance after the Houston Astros scandal. He was suspended for a year. They let him go. They didn't have to rehire him. They did, because they did a good job. And I think Rosenthal certainly thinks that Cora is going to always feel a sense of loyalty to them for that reason. The fact of the matter here is it takes 2 sides wanting to get a deal done in a given moment for a deal to get done. And I think it's not that surprising that there's some hesitancy potentially from either side, because Cora just saw Craig Counsell get $1 zillion. What was it, like $8 million a year for 5 years, so $40 million total, and manager free agency. And then Breslow gets hired, and he has not gotten a chance to see how his working relationship is with Alex Cora during a season. Like, I think it's fair that both sides maybe feel that it's best to wait it out. As fans, we want this guy like here for the long haul. Alex Cora is a great manager. I think most over 90% of Red Sox fans would agree that Alex Cora is at least a really good manager. So like we all want to see it, but you know we saw that his working relationship with Chaim Bloom wasn't great. Fact of the matter is, you can be a great manager, but you got to be on the same page with the front office. So I want Alex Cora here. I hope they want Alex Cora here. But in the end, I'm not all that surprised that an extension hasn't gotten done. I would be surprised if one got done before the season started. Hope it does, but I'd be surprised.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of stock that should go into the working relationship, because if they do give him Craig Counsell money, season rolls around, Breslow likes to operate one way, Cora wants them to do something that Breslow doesn't feel like is necessary or a smart move, then you're in a dilemma. Like you have two guys kind of butting heads for the next 5 years. That being said, I don't see a world where that happens. But at the same time, I don't think it's crazy if Cora leaves. I'm throwing it out there now. If Cora leaves, I think Breslow looks to a friend he had in Chicago in his old battery mate, David Ross, to take the reins.
No, it's going to be
I buy
Papelbon.
Wait, who did I say? Who did I say would be the manager? I said, who did I say would be the manager? I said something. It was during the Papelbon episode. What the hell did I say?
Yeah, you did. I can't remember. But
I don't remember either. Whatever.
Dude,
I agree with you, Pat. David Ross would be like an obvious, like logical candidate.
it's going to be Papelbon. Can you imagine if Pap was the fucking manager?
Oh, you said it was Andrew Bailey.
No, I said something stupid. It was stupid.
Oh.
Andrew Bailey actually, like in theory, could do it. But
I feel like
I said something stupid.
I feel like Kenley Jansen will be a pitching coach someday. So my weird take of the day. Kenley.
All right, Kenley Jansen pitches for the Red Sox this year, doesn't get traded. His arm falls off, has to transition out of the game as a player, comes back, pitching coach for Andrew Bailey, who takes over as manager for Alex Cora. You heard it here first.
Yep, and then they both go to the Dodgers.
Oh God! All right, that we are past the 50-minute mark, so we're gonna have to cut off the fan questions there. But we will certainly be doing this again. Like we love the mailbag episodes. Like these are a blast. We love fan
fun.
engagement.
These are really fun.
These are some of my favorite episodes that we've done. So I hope we keep doing them. We certainly will. But on to some enough said for the rest of this one. Sammy, you want to go first on this one?
Yes, I will go first. Chris Murphy on our last episode was discussing how Boston fans were crazy, and he thinks it's cool that we're all like one fan base with 4 sports. Red Sox, of course, Celtics, Bruins, Patriots. It's all the same people. And a video surfaced of those people, Celtics fan mode, and it was Buddy Hield of the Pacers. He was asking Aaron Nesmith during a timeout. So Nesmith used to play on the Celtics, if you're not aware. And he said, "Are the Celtics pumping in crowd noise? It's insanely loud in here." And Nesmith was like, "No, it's always like this. This is Boston fans. Crazy." So just wanted to give a shout out to Boston fans. Hang in there. It's bad for the Red Sox right now. Luckily, the B's and C's are cooking, and the Patriots have a high draft pick. So every other team other than the Red Sox are trending up. So yeah, keep your heads up, everybody.
I didn't see that video, Sammy. That is so freaking awesome. I love that. Nothing matches the TD Garden when the Celtics are good in like a close game. It doesn't matter. Like the Pacers, I think, are a good team, and they've played the Celtics well this year. But like, how many arenas are getting up off their feet for their team against the Pacers? Like, this is something you only get with a fan base like Boston fans have, and it was like that at Fenway Park once upon a time, not so long ago in 2021. Like, that postseason in 2021 was absolutely bananas. And like, even though, and I know they're banking on this, but even though like it's pretty apathetic around there, and like people are giving less and less of a shit about the Red Sox every day, whenever they do get good, and they will be good sooner rather than later, that environment will come back. I do believe that. But I want to go next because my enough said is also basketball related, also Celtics related. This is just me ready to bitch and moan about LeBron and Anthony Davis because Celtics fans pay tons of money to get into the one Celtics-Lakers game you're going to get a season unless they face off in the finals, which we see the Lakers. They are not facing off in the finals. So this is the one time that you're going to get to see the Lakers come to TD Garden. It's the one time you're going to get to see LeBron James come to TD Garden this year, unless he's traded. But the Lakers today said that Anthony Davis and James would miss the game against the Boston Celtics. Anthony Davis's injury is called maybe Pat. Actually, Pat's the right guy to Pat. You tell me what the hell this is. He's got bilateral Achilles tendinopathy and left hip spasm, and then LeBron has left ankle peroneal tendinopathy.
Okay,
am I illiterate or something? Like, what the hell are these words?
Pat,
and
before you answer
the game,
I have to ask Pat a question before he answers your question, Gordo. Do they ever, like, maybe you don't know the answer to this because you don't work for an NBA team or a professional sports team, but, like, I feel like this is load management, and they're just fucking chucking all these words at you. What, hyperonius, the Greek god of...
It was peroneus tendinopathy and bilateral Achilles tendinopathy. Is that what you said?
Of course, yeah.
Gordo, don't let me double check.
Hold on.
Bilateral Achilles tendinopathy and then peroneus tendinopathy.
Yes, that.
Yeah. So Achilles tendinopathy is your calf tendon, like your Achilles. When you do a lot of jumping and running, it gets like super irritated at like, well, I won't get too nerdy. That tendon gets really inflamed and like burns, and it hurts to jump and land and run or whatever. So bilateral is crazy. I mean, not uncommon, but that's something that like you don't just sit out a game and you're good 2 days later. That's load management. And it goes for the same for LeBron was peroneal tendinopathy, right? Your peroneal, you don't really have a peroneal. You have a bunch of peroneals. You have your peroneus longus, brevis, whatever. That runs right on like the side of your shin. And that makes your foot do this, like go out to the side and up like this. Mm-hmm. That's a super weird tendinopathy to have. Also not an injury that you really sit out for 2 days and you're good to go. So yeah, those are both load management.
Yeah, so they're sore.
Which to my point is bullshit because like this is the one, like, people get out of bed for Celtics Lakers. I don't care if the Lakers aren't good. It's Celtics LeBron. It's Celtics Lakers. Like, I saw tweets of people saying they flew in to Boston and bought tickets for this game, and these guys the team announces that these guys aren't going to play 4 hours before tip. Like, that's such crap. Like, you know what this is?
Boston. They probably just hate the city.
No,
and the
Sammy, you want to know what it is?
Karen LeBron, Karen and Anthony Davis on the brow. I have an eyebrow. Oh, I'm always hurt because the wind blows too hard.
Do you want to know what this is, Sammy? This is these guys knowing that they could play this game and they could play however many minutes they want to play, but they're not beating the Celtics. The Lakers stink. The Celtics are incredible. The Lakers aren't beating the Celtics, so they know they're gonna take the L anyway. You might as well use it to rest up their tendinopathy. Ugh. Yeah, like that's it. Or maybe LeBron just wants to think a little bit about his recent investment in the PGA. That might get too.
Soft and scared.
Soft.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, they're soft. That was bullshit. Boston fans deserve better. They've got an awesome team. They deserve to see that team play the best player of this generation. Pat, you got anything before we hop off?
Yeah, I'm pumped about the Alex Van Pelt hire. Go Patriots.
Pat's having OC.
Yeah, it is official. He worked with the Rodgers in Green Bay during those really good. I mean, there was a bunch of years. But the Rodgers, Devontae Adams years, he was there when Aaron Jones started to break out a little bit. He is known as a quarterback guy, a players guy. He runs a West Coast offense, which I don't think the Patriots legitimately have ever run. So we're going to get a whole new scheme. We're going to get a whole new scheme. We're going to get a new quarterback. We're going to have some fun next year. We're not going to run the ball on 2nd and 12. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have fun.
Yeah, also, I'm excited. This West Coast offense thing really gets me going. I like it.
Yeah, I for sure know what that is. And I'm also excited. Big shout out as well to Jaylen Brown, who just made the All-Star team as a reserve. So that's sick. Look, Boston's got stars. You got Pasta and Swayman in the NHL All-Star game. You got Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and there's 2 injuries on the All-Star team. So you might get Derek White or Chris.
Who's the other one besides Randall?
Embiid.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Ooh, I wonder if does Kristaps sneak in as a replacement for Joel?
I hope not. I hope not. Rest him.
I hope he gets in and doesn't play. He deserves to get in. But I hope he gets in.
The Raiders just hired former Patriot, former Brady backup, Cliff Kingsbury as their offensive coordinator.
Oh, that's a fun hire. That's a fun hire.
Yeah.
I could get out of bed for Cliff Kingsbury. But
anyway. Wow.
That has been episode 34. The Rich Garces episode. It's a big poppy episode. It's a big poppy episode. We appreciate all the fans, all the listeners who sent in questions, who sent in anything they sent in. Like, we appreciate you guys listening. We appreciate you guys interacting. We love interacting with you guys. Like, some of the best parts about doing a show like this is it opens the door for us to interact with other diehards just like us. Like, there was times, when we were kids and like we had friends who weren't, like, obviously we loved all our friends as kids, but like, I'm sure like you guys had friends that weren't as diehard about this as you were. And it's great that we have this community of people that are as all in on in the shit as we are. So we appreciate you guys. Before we head out, remember to rate us 5 stars wherever you're listening. Odyssey app, Apple, Spotify, on YouTube. Rate 5 stars. Hit that follow button. Hit that subscribe button. Get those notifications when we drop episodes. Helps us out a ton and gets you that notification, which helps you out a ton. So we appreciate you guys. Love the interaction. We'll definitely do this type of episode again. For Sammy, Pat, Coop, it's Gordo here. This has been Play Tessie signing off. Toodaloo.